So everybody, it's Amon here. Welcome back to another one of my versus battles. In today's video, as you see in the title, it is Rhino, the unstoppable beastful machine, the raging Goliath that terrorizes New York. The wrecking machine of the Sinister Six, the strength, the muscle, the strongest physical opponent Spider-Man has had to face in a lot of the different cases of his rogues gallery. And most importantly, not being the smartest, but being a plummeting beast of Russian fury. I mean, he's Russian, so what do you expect? I'm joking around. That is a compliment. Chill out, not being racist. Alright? But like Zangief, he has another person that is fighting with that same ferociousness but ferocity impelling of Aztec ancient demonic fury. Necalli from Street Fighter V, the first appearance of this Aztec demon, is coming with a few intention instead of matter of being a fighter with great means of destructive fury imposed on all fighters that he feels fit to devour souls. Necalli is 6'5", and I think maybe unknown ratings of pounds. I don't know. But I'm going to get into him in a minute. But obviously, like always, I hope you guys enjoyed. This shit about to be bopper. I hope you guys are having a good day. You guys will enjoy this. Like I just said, let's go and get into this banger.
Bitch, I'm coming in hot till one time, there's no fly, ain't gon' stop, I'm a dog, need a bone, she my top, she suck it up, she a dog, straight edge, what I buy, big dreams, what I got, she suck me on the spot, yeah, I'm pushing only penis, buzz in the face, I'm dipping the penis, she's still in the call, that's my thesis, pushing penis, as we see what I do, now it's all cool, all I do is speak.
Yosh, you win. Good in this, bro.
Yeah, I'm pushing on my promotion. She's so freaky, make me needy. She the Diana, and she don't even wanna see me. Don't wanna see me unless I'm on TV. And you know that it's not little, and I keep a pistol. All you know, I do a lot, and you do a little. And we posted on the block.
Let's go and start off with the Wrecking Ball of Marvel. It might be self-explanatory. Obviously, the recording is just for obviously recording commentary in case showcasing on general behalf of what Rhino can do at his mass pull of power. But we're using Marvel Comics Rhino, not the universe of Spider-Man PS4. We're not using no TV show. We ain't using the movie. No, this is straight Marvel Comics Rhino. With this being said, I'm going to be interpolating all cases matter for Rhino's feats and the comics that I have here, like you hear in the background, with some of the comic books, my notebook, set them out for the scans. I'm going to talk about his history. Let's go and get into it. Seduced by a nervous group of Russian spies, career criminal Alexei Shevsky, if I'm even saying his name right, or is it Shevsky? I don't know. I don't know how to speak Russian. I don't know how to say this man's last name, but Alexei Shevsky, if I'm saying his name right, had an advanced material bonded to his skin, turning him into a human wrecking machine of toughness and speed. Though he has always been Spider-Man's least intelligent enemy, Rhino is still a wrecking ball of great strength and the pinnacle of what it means to be a gladiatorial beast. Rhino, obviously, with a case of matter for his suit and advancement of superhuman strength, has great super strength, able to tumble up cars, cop cars, like as you see here, can run at great human speed, is running so fast, he's able to almost dart blitz. Spider-Man sometimes is able to wreck through different cars, police vehicles, is a living tank. A tank of armor, is able to bone crush through buildings and run and blitz around and not hold no bar. Even Spider-Man's most toughest webs can't stop him from moving. He is a immovable object at his hardest core. At the same time, his unmovable presence is impacted, instead of matter of him needing to grow up momentum. He has his great barrel, state of matter for strength, but what really pinnacles him to his high bar of power is because of the fact that obviously with his momentum and in the case of his armor, this hard material of titanium input with different cases of advanced technology has different attachments that advance the case of matter for his speed and suit. He can run at great speed, but the suit allows him to exceed on the extension point of a suit power where he's able to dart and blitz around. And with his strength and all that, he's able to be at small building range, able to destroy tanks, obviously, like I said, or his tank strength like his cars and vehicles, and break out of hard things, break with power dampeners, and is literally just a wrestling behemoth. Like, he just does not care. He's just wrestling for everybody, and he darts around at full speed. He's able to oversee the entire block in a few seconds, and even with his big ass size, being like 707 pounds and being 7'5" or maybe 7'10", this man is a behemoth that does not stop. He's able to jump at great regards, jumping at a mid-height over buildings at a single bound, small building range generally though, and overarchingly his power oversteps a lot of in case of different other heroes of New York City. And he's able to overpress someone like Luke Cage, the great power man, that's able to scale at a low ball to other different behemoths in the case of matter for their low power capabilities, because with Luke Cage obviously has great super strength, but his strength is on the precedence of Hulk, even though Rhino has in one confrontation, as he's not like Juggernaut when he faces Hulk, at a great precedence of strength in comparison to each other as a pair. But Rhino, with his strength, is able to scale to a not full ready Hulk, or a Hulk that's not getting full steady ready and angry yet at the same time. And with his strength and heart, in case of matter for his warrior primal subject power, overravels a lot of other case of people that could possibly get in his way, and pushes and strives and moves at quick steady spaces matter per state of his speed, and multiple times just brawls through and doesn't give a fuck. He's just with anybody that dares to try to get in his way, he's just gonna smear fool. But at the same time, with the pulls of his strength and power, where it mainly is in a recalling factor again, like his speed, because when he's at full momentum, nothing can stop him. He's able to take missiles, bombs, able to take different hits and still get up. He gets playing with multiple different hits by Spider-Man, not just in the case of Miles here, but obviously infamous Peter Parker, and is still able to bull rush through a bunch of different things, and is just with the shits, and no one can really stop him from getting into the full height, his mixture of fighting and doing a bunch of different other stuff, because Rhino does not give a fuck at all. He's just with it. But with his skin, why he's not able to get it off is because it's too intricate on his skin. Like I said, it was binding to his skin within the body. And multiple different crazy scientists and tech people like Dr. Octopus, the Tinkerer, even people at S.H.I.E.L.D., and even in Rikers Max prison cannot get this shit off of him. And Rhino pretty much for the longest time has been working to get it all. Obviously, he's been wanting money to do this and do that. But a lot of the time, it's mainly as a gladiator trying to press for freedom, in the words of Dr. Octopus, when it comes down to the case of his suit and what he does with it. As a lot of time, he's just bull rushing around to get wherever he wants and wherever he needs to with this. And so anytime when it does not work, it's really just Rhino trying to find a way to get it off. The only case of times where a little script of it is off is with enough damage and implex to the factor that comes with characters binding up so much power, they break it off. Like Hulk bodying him before Rhino could even actually charge him. The fact that Rhino has been able, with his skin and his great plex of armor and beastfulness, to rage out and maul any person that gets on him. He's able to break out of Spider-Man's great web strength, and Spider-Man's web strength at big high calculus obviously is able to tangle about trains and hold them, and he's able to break for all of that. He's able to break for a bunch of different cases of things and cause some big disturbance to break for different buildings and factories and take fire like it's nothing. He's bulletproof, he's entirely fireproof, gas proof, poison proof. I mean, unless the gas actually comes on his mask, but like if there's any case of like poison electrical gas put on him, it doesn't do anything to him. And a lot of in case of man's weapons do not work on him. He is just way too powerful, and overarchingly he doesn't hold any possibility of having a misstep when it comes down to his big regard of power overall, and has been able to crush him against some other cases, different heroes and make Daredevil misstep. He's able to take different gun machine fire from the Punisher. Again, overstep Luke Cage, who, even though, again, is a super strength powerhouse, is not on the same level point as Hulk, but Rhino has been able to take Hulk and has almost been able to full stop Luke Cage in different cases. So Rhino holds a lot of great place of power overall in comparison to the other characters of the Marvel universes that are either tanks or fast diverting characters. Obviously, he's not the best with intelligence, you know what I'm saying? He's not the most brightest, but he picks up his cinematic for his strength. His poison's proof kind of a little bit, but it only kind of staggers him off a little bit when he's trying to fight. That voice crack, puberty really kicking in. I need some water. I've been talking for so long. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the matter for this gladiatorial Russian beast. That's it for the case of matter for his fighting style. How he does things generally, well, obviously he's very rageful. Will try to pick up on speed and penetrate you with his horn. It's very powerful. Can take electricity as well. He's electricity proof, which doesn't really hold that much place with necalli, but his durability is a lot big place in the matter for bounds. He can run for very long miles. In his top miles, he's been able to run 300 miles per hour. 300 miles per hour. He has not stopped since. There's a lot of great bursts and strength and speed that comes with him running, but he's been able to run 300 miles per hour without stopping. And overarchingly, his speed is not ridiculous, but running that fast, he's obviously a great superhuman, great sonic speed, especially since he's able to blitz faster than bullets, rocket launchers, all this different shit, and he's just moving ballistically fast, and that is an even scale to necalli as well. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about necalli, the Aztec warrior demonic zombie. necalli, the demonic Aztec warrior, like I said before, is a zombie of ancient times, pretty much. Within the general plane, the Aztec was his nightmarish sacrifice. I'm pretty sure for the deeper bonds of the case of the lore from the Wikipedia, since he's a pretty much a big mysterious character. It's not the most interesting, at least in my opinion, but at least he has his own intrigue in case of matter for what he does and how he is as a being. As necalli is a spawn of devilish might that wants to peer for the jaws of death, as he is that and peers for the dark souls and overrides all beings that come into his wake for his cunning and most importantly demonic sense of hunger and prevalence of killing and doing whatever the case may be. So when it comes down to case for his overrelenting power bulge, just because of the fact that he comes in with immeasurable possibilities of strength, not actually as a measurable strength, but potential, because of the fact that he gets more stronger the more and more he fights, the hunger in souls and the more souls that he takes. And Rhino is definitely a proficient and cunning warrior from necalli to face. Now, obviously, Rhino isn't necessarily an enemy, cunning, no, but it's a matter for his case, a matter of pursuance and point of fighting. Rhino holds great means and bonds a possibility of being a soul that would correlate with his hunger, because Rhino again is a beast, a cool warrior, and again with necalli and his possession of a calling within form of taking souls, that's what he would correlate as in hunger. But besides that, necalli is a very formidable opponent. As being an Aztec warrior, he has lived for many different years of being undead demons, searching out for the scowls of ancient to modern Street Fighter warriors, and coming with a lot of state matter for experience. And how exactly old he is unknown, but in presence of him being Aztec, being very ancient, this man has lived for a great minimum of possibly 4,000 years. And possibility in his peak cinematic in all counts of his clothing, a resonance of who he is and how he looks and all that. necalli is a beast. He has great understanding of other people's skills and can adapt to other people's scenarios. In this case, has great super strength, great internal case of speed, can spice up with fire and his demonic rage. He's like Broly and he bursts up more with power of immeasurable capabilities. And overarching, he can take a bunch of different cases of shots, Hadoukens, fire bombs, other stuff, and keep running off. He overscaled Ryu even with the Satsu no Hado power, and his rigid demonic power overpowers out that power. And in comparison run, there's someone like Akuma within this power and who accompanies this much power and demonstration. Ryu or Akuma and Ryu scale evenly to each other. So if he overpels Ryu, that means he has an essential case semi scale and function within someone like Akuma, for instance, you know. So Akuma, if we go by semi for strength poets and the fact that Ryu has been able to take these blows and all running place and power that comes with that, Akuma was able to destroy an entire fucking island with one little palm burst strike. With that power and magnitude, a TNT is full small country level, and obviously being island level with that burst correlation semi power is a big thing to be taken into play. Now it's not that extent because the island range was a small island, so that's a great pairing power sort, but that would even be the maximum. So Necalli is able to take that and burst off power beyond that. And then he's able to take on someone like M. Bison. He still loses to M. Bison, but is able to take a fight with him and fight him off, even with the case of his ultimate psycho power. So that's a great thing for Necalli, as with M. Bison, obviously overshadowing a bunch of different cases of people with power over spicing someone like Akuma, Ryu, and even someone like Sagat. That holds a big place in his power, so he's able to struggle with him and hold a little bit of balance against him. That's a great thing. And Necalli, overarchingly, his power sort and what he upholds as a case of power is a little bit of a great big difference, because his power overshadows more and more the more in fights. So it really depends. So as long as he's still living, it depends. Unless he full overcrunkle the count of his power and speed blitz him or whatever. Because M. Bison was just too much and he peered off Necalli. So if that would ever happen, that's when Necalli goes. But Necalli in strength factor holds big means. His speed, in comparison to someone like Ryu and M. Bison, who are both great sonic speed, I don't have to worry about none of that. Just like in comparison to their overarching base place of speed for what they have, as again with their splice and splicing point of speed doesn't really overshadow what Rhino has done in comparison to other case of people. So I would say that Necalli and Rhino are even space, but like if they're actually having, obviously Rhino and Maximum could overpair Rhino into a case of him overshadowing Necalli entirely. Because again, like if we're talking base combat, because how fast you can run holds a place in your combat speed, but not in the full format of what's happening. So if Necalli is getting smeared by Rhino, Rhino can overfunction his power set, no matter for durability and everything he has for the overbulk power set of Rhino, and he can easily bomb Necalli into the ground, and Necalli won't be able to actually do nothing. So that's how Rhino with himself would smear himself into him. And so the fact that Necalli doesn't have the speed to gravitas that in some cases, that would put Necalli out the off put. But Necalli has regeneration goodly. Rhino does not have big regeneration, but like he has a great case of durability. Obviously with his suit, and he's a tank, he can take hits, so he'll be fine. Necalli's been able to take a bunch of different case of blows, took an Hadouken bursting through his body, taking hits from the chest, and Bison in the comic panel showcasing split his hand through Necalli's chest, and it barely did that much. So I would still say his durability is great, so he can take blows like Miles taking blows from Rhino in this clip. So that's really where I would pair off the capabilities of what they do, involving strength, speed, all that. But they're regulative, you know, they're great sonic speed, so that's something to be taken into account. But if we're talking in the form of other stuff like durability, but we have great durability, so it doesn't really matter. Endurance, fun. Like, they're gonna be an even spec. Like, I'm not trying to have versus battles where characters don't have any evency unless I'm trying to prove a point, because I still want to make these interesting. You know what I'm saying? Grab my notebook. It just depends on the calibration of what the characters can make at themselves, which is not even a word. Like, I'm not even trying to say something dramatic. I feel like I'm about to have a fucking tongue to us. Look, calibration. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if I said calibraced, bractons. That kind of sounded a little bit weird. It's not how I was lining it up, but the calibrating what makes the characters powerful in their own muster in comparison to each other. You know what I'm saying? So, besides the capability of what necalli can do, his history, all that, let's actually talk about the overrunning factor, how they would be like impaired with a fight, because that's what we're waiting for. That's what this is all about. necalli and Rhino are going to be good hand to hand overarchingly. But necalli, obviously, from his experience, is going to be way more better than Rhino. Even though necalli does not put in extreme boards of intelligence, he overarchingly has a better run-through understanding of fighting, so he'll put Rhino a little bit off. Rhino overall has better overarching strength. He does not have the same placement of feats, but Rhino has great strength to be able to break small buildings and fuck niggas up and basically boulder them in half and stop them from being able to do anything entirely. So with that being said, Rhino, I definitely think, will overrun necalli, but necalli in fighting will be able to stop him, especially with necalli's second form. That obviously boosts his speed, his strength, his overarching capability to move and do other stuff. So I feel like that's how necalli will be able to win and do more in this case when it comes down to the case for his power and what he runs and factor with strength that puts them to this level and countability of strength in the set. You know what I'm saying? But overall, necalli, I think, wins, like I just said, but wins in the apartment of speed and plex with the combat. But if Rhino's is full charging at him, and he gets in that pent-up situation, and he spears necalli can definitely move. Also, necalli, I almost forgot to talk about this for some reason, is because it's not in the state of a move. I have not played necalli that much in Street Fighter 5, so I don't know if he actually, by game mechanics, is able to do this different stuff. But I don't know if it'll work on our Marvel character here. He's able to teleport with his little ooey gooey ass fucking slime ball teleportation. So I don't know if that necessarily encounters with this. Because like if he's running up on Rhino off guard, Rhino doesn't have big peak senses. So if he did that and spliced through Rhino's armor, because necalli, in comparison to other characters, and when he can overarchingly do with his rage in comparison place with someone like Akuma, even Kage, Evil Ryu and Bison, he could definitely do that. If he's just running up on Rhino, he's randomly walking in New York or something, that can definitely happen, possibly. You know, so we're taking that into account. He just moves, that's fine. But we're running it full battle course. That's when we're taking to the factor, obviously, because this is a versus battle. We're not talking the possibility of someone in Assassin's Creed and somebody. Like at the same time, like that helps a character with stealth and quick precision to overstep somebody. But this is a gladiator match. We're talking about the overshadowing case of who got the power, not the point of who got the precision output in the case of stealth and stealthing point of what they can do. That's even in the case of the word stealthing. Line with the point and place of their power and all that different stuff, and how that's like, no, they're most likely gonna run it hand in hand. necalli a lot of time runs up on you face value to show that I'm fear incarnate and I'm death. So he's really trying to devour Rhino's soul. He's gonna run up on him face first, and Rhino's gonna be like, what the fuck? Be like, sickle blade, and run up peering off on him, possibly. I'm joking around, but for real, he could do that. Like, he could really just run up and try to ground pound his ass, and he would be fucking done for, possibly. But Rhino and necalli are gonna be even scale, play some match for power. I think they'll both put up a good fight. Who I think wins over overarchingly? It can go both ways. I feel like Rhino's durability and mix for what he does kind of overlays what necalli could possibly do depending on the point in the matter. I also just think that necalli does not have the understanding gravitas to take on Rhino in every countermeasure. With his understanding of fighting, because Rhino is not a full case of a fighter, but just a beef bruiser, you know what I'm saying, and his experience, he definitely could overshadow Rhino at a high ball. But Rhino is going to be ducking, weaving, try to do something, and not just taking the hits and be able to body him. And if this takes place in New York, I feel like he's going to have too much ground game to really stop necalli, and necalli's not going to be able to take that. Necalli does not have the consistency scans to really be on the same place of measurement as Rhino's. Rhino is a whole new person. I feel like again it can go either way if you go by hand-to-hand combat, but I feel like it's going to take too much, and Rhino is just going to pair off and body him eventually. He's not going to be able to do that much in full equivalence, you know. But that's just my opinion. The person who wins this battle is Rhino. What do y'all think though? Like as always, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out, mommy. Love y'all. Whoever voice acts Rhino,